Candy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Stretch the Sketch Day. And what that means is it is a series started by my friend Janet Fritz over at Galaxy Girl Creations, where you take a sketch, you stretch it, twist it, shrink it, move it all around, and do whatever you want to do with it. So today's sketch is this one right here by Pam Callahan for GCD Studios. Now, this sketch goes like this. I am actually going to turn it, and I'm also going to stretch it down into a 2-page layout. I have photos of us biting our Mickeyhead ice creams. This is now kind of a traditional photo that we do when we go on trips. This is from our 2017 Disney trip. And then I'm going to be using some stamps and some mixed media. So let's see what I can do. So I'm starting off with some white cardstock as my base. I have these 2 graphic 45 papers. They are cut apart papers. The B side is this green pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and these are trimmed down to 11 by 11. So what that is going to do is give me a 1/2 inch border at the top and bottom, and then a 1 inch border all the way around on the left and the right hand sides. Now this paper is from my Kill a Kit with Style. And I don't know why I put it up so high. So I get it up pretty high. I, take the time to line it up. I want the green edges to be on the outside of the layout. So then I realized, whoops, put it up too high. Need to flip it around, which is not a big deal since everything was the same size and everything had the same borders on it. Now I am going to start putting my photos down. Now the sketch, the photos are matted. However, I'm not trimming down my photos. I want them as 4 by 6. I don't want to cut off any pieces of us, any pieces of the background, any pieces of, the Mickey head. So I am not going to mat the photos. However, I'm going to put them straight across the page. So now I am looking for things that I can add to get more layers on the page. So I have these this 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. I trimmed down 2 3-inch strips. I'm going to put it across over here up at the top, cut off the edge, and then I will do the same thing on this side. And then I realized that my paper was actually not lined up, so I need to adjust it. So I'm using the edge on the left-hand side of the paper to match up on the right-hand side of the paper so I don't have to worry about lines being completely straight. Also, if anything is ever so slightly off, it's not going to be a big deal because my layouts do go in ring albums instead of like a strap hinge album or a post-bound album where the layouts are super close together. Now you could always sew the page protector together along the join if you really want it to have no break in your pages, but it doesn't stress me out that much, so I don't worry about it. Now I do go ahead and try out my white pigment ink pad from Brutus Monroe to make sure that it is visible. And I'm just going to take the little Mickeyhead ice cream stamp and just kind of alternated it going left and right. And it's not the same angle, and I'm just putting it across the page without really any rhyme or reason. I'm not measuring it. I'm just kind of going for it. And I am not worried that it won't fit because I can change the angle of the Mickeyhead ice creams. So there we go. That is across the page and I am loving it. Now there is a lot of red and green on this layout. However, I don't feel like it is screaming Christmas at you. I just don't have that feeling from it. If you do, I'm sorry, but I don't. And it's my layout and I'm happy with it. So that's really what matters. So while I am going through and trying to find some pattern paper to use, I'm just going to remind you to click on all the links down below for everyone who is playing with Stretch the Sketch this month. It is a fun time. Ladies do all kinds of different things. Some of us stretch to 12 by 12, some of us shrink to 8.5 by 11, some do 6 by 12, some might do a traveler's notebook or a mini album. One time I even stretched the sketch to, instead of one 12 by 12 layout, it was 4, and that was a super fun time. So just know that there are all kinds of different pieces of inspiration. Some of us won't be turning this sketch, some of us will be. It's just all about what really works for them and their photos and their stories, and then hopefully you will be inspired from that as well. So I fussy cut out that camera, and I have this Oh Happy Day sticker that was on my tripod leg. I decided to pull that down instead of pulling out a new sticker out of the sticker book. And then I went for some little foam rectangles on a roll right here. And I'm going to fill up this camera with foam because I don't want to put the camera on the page and have it dip down anywhere. I definitely want it to be able to be seen as a completely up camera. So now I go ahead and put this Oh Happy Day sticker down here at the corner. I am introducing the color black to this layout where it wasn't in there before. So I just want to make sure that I am getting a good balance of that dark color on top of all of these other colors. So I decide that I wanted to bring in another one of these label shapes. So it says Food, Family, Fun. And I figured that was totally applicable. This is our family, we are having fun, and we are eating food, so there we go. Now, I thought I was going to use this kind of pattern sticker as something that was going to be that vertical element over here on this page, but ultimately I decided against it. It goes back into the sticker book. I find that when I do a 2-page layout like this, I either go super crazy with the decorating of the page, or I kind of keep it more of a minimal look. And this one is definitely more of a minimalist kind of layout. Definitely did not go maximalist on it. So I am going to go ahead and figure out what my vertical element is going to be. And I keep trying different things, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. And then I'm like, oh, I like that. Why don't I just use the piece of paper where I fussy cut the camera out of it? That way, you know, I'm not wasting paper and things are going to work. So I go ahead and do that. And I'm going to place it here. Now in the sketch, it's between the first and second photo, but I feel like it balances more over here between the second and the third photo. And it's just ever so slightly over the third photo. And I place it there because I wanted the camera to kind of dip down in the space between mine and Alex's head for this layout. So I go ahead, I get the camera on the page, and I'm like, oh, I love it. Now, this I love for a couple reasons. I love it because I honestly love how it's coming together and the colors are making me happy. But truly, it is also an emotional response for me because I love the memory. I love the memories of the Mickeyhead ice creams. It's just, you know, it's just a good, fun time and a good memory. So I am going to go through my die cuts here, and I'm just trying to figure out what I can pull out and what I can use over here on this page. Now, I thought about the Let's Do This because it is a green die cut, and I do have green on this layout, but I ultimately decided not to do that. I'm just trying out different things because I'm not exactly sure where I'm going now. I really have no clue whatsoever, you guys. The castle ends up coming off, and that's because we aren't in Magic Kingdom. We are in Epcot when we did these. So I was like, nope, let's not put the castle up there. It's pretty funny because all of these Disney-esque collections that these companies put out, they put fairy tale castles on because, you know, you can get away with that. You can put a fairy tale castle up and it not be Disney. But you can't really put an Epcot ball in there, can you? Because, you know, that's, where else is there an Epcot ball in any kind of fairy tale or fairyland or anything? There isn't. So you kind of stuck. So I do add this chipboard up here, this black and red chipboard that says vacation. And that gives me a little bit more of that black pop of color on my layout, which is what I'm looking for. This little curved chipboard piece that says, I think it says, remember this. I thought that that was cute above the camera. And I'm just pulling stuff out from my kit that I have not used yet this month. And I'm just trying to figure out if there is anything that can go on. Now, I am determined to use these big black sequin brad type things, but every layout I've done, it doesn't make it on it. So I need to come up with something so I can actually get them used. I was also thinking about using the ribbon, but the red is the wrong kind of red, so I definitely don't want to do that. So now I'm like, okay, let's bring in some dots and bits. So I'm going to bring in 3 little clusters of these dots, and what's going to happen is I'm going to use 3 different colors. So I will have one of these larger yellow dots, and then I'm going to bring in a green dot, and then I'm going to bring in a black dot next, and then I bring in a green dot. And I decide to do the black dot again just to bring that little pop of black coloring to the layout. I still feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I probably could have done some sort of matte around all the photos in black and just had like a really thin black border, and that probably would have met my requirement, I guess, to have more black on the page. But I ended up not doing that, and I figured it was going to be too much work to pull it all up, figure it out. So I grab a Muji pen and I do a sketchy doodly border around the outside of the layout. Now usually, maybe sometimes, I won't say usually, sometimes when I do this on a Disney layout, I kind of hand draw in a couple of Mickey heads on there. This layout I did not. And that's because I haven't figured out if I want a Mickey head on every layout in this album or not. This album is our 2017 trip, and I'm just not sure if I want to do that yet. So I will figure that out when I get the layout put together. So there it is, you guys, my double page spread. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to click all the links down below so you can hop along to everyone who is playing with Stretch the Sketch. And I will see you guys again real soon for another video.